Hey, my name is Tobenna. I'm a former athlete. I played in the NFL, the XFL, the CFL, and I was a journeyman in the league. One of my craziest stories about playing pro football. Why is playing pro football is always a dream for a lot of people, right? Because you understand the magnitude of what it can allow you to achieve, right? It allows you to be able to kind of live out your wildest dreams, playing in front of hundreds of thousands of fans, which I have. I've accomplished that. It was amazing. But what if I told you that I actually got cut on the day off? Like kind of like Friday in the movie when Craig's like, I got cut on my day off. I got cut actually on my day off. And here's what nobody tells you about the day after. Literally, it's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm literally just sitting on the couch watching TV, actually watching the movie. I was watching Crazy Rich Asians for my rom-com fans out there. But midway through the movie, I thought to myself, why don't I use this time to be productive and study my film? Right? As somebody that's wanting to make the team, the CFL is already a different league that I'm used to in comparison to NFL, the rules, the feel, the end zone, so many things that was new for me and I wasn't used to. So biggest thing I wanted to do was kind of understand my playbook a little bit more. Just as I used to do, I would go on my huddle and watch some film. So I logged into my iPad and for some reason, my password in the account wasn't working. Each time I try to log in, error. Log in again, different password, error. Maybe I forgot my password and they reset it, error. So now I'm frustrated, right? Because I've used every password known to man that I know I would have ever used for my Huddle account. And I was getting a lot of mixed signals because rewind a couple of days ago when I was at the training camp, everything was going great, had a great camp, did a lot of good things and just kind of reassured by my coaches that everything's going to be good and going into the season. That wasn't the case. So as somebody as me is a little anxiety, I call my agent. I'm just like, yo, what's up? What's going on? What's really going on? I can't log into my Huddle account. Things are tripping. Like, is there anything I need to be worried about? He reassures me like, hey, you're going good. Just spoke to the team a couple days ago. You're all set to go. Let me reach out to the team and just to keep you assured, make sure everything is good. So as I do, I call my position coach. Hey coach, can't get into my huddle. Is everything okay? He's still on the assumption that everything's good, nothing bad is happening, right? So I'm kind of just like, what's going on? Maybe they're doing or maybe the app is down, or maybe they're doing some fixing on the back end of the app. So I don't think anything of it. So I go on by my day. 10 minutes later, my agent calls me, and the worst news you could possibly hear. He said, hey, the GM is going to give you a call. They're looking to go in a different direction. I'm blown away, right? Because just like I said, a couple of days ago, I was going crazy at the camp, doing really, really great things and getting reassured that going into the season, I'd be able to fight for a starting spot. So to hear that news a couple of days later was the worst thing ever. So I get the call from the team. They said they're moving in a different direction. Mind you, this is a team that reached out to me to assign me, saying they were really wanting me on the team with my old coach as the head coach. So I thought this was a shoo-in. It just was too good to be true. Little did I know that the dream that I thought was going to happen would turn out to be one of the longest off seasons of my career. This is what they don't tell you about getting cut, retiring, walking away from the game, whether it's by your will or not. Is that it's a very, very, very quiet. It's very lonesome because most people don't understand what you're going through. Most people don't understand the daily grind of keeping your body in shape while your friends are either partying or having a good time or traveling and you're having to train. I don't get to eat like everybody else. I have to have a strict regimen to make sure I'm able to stay football ready. While everybody's going out having drinks, you're substituting that for rice and chicken. Brown rice and turkey, things to make sure that you are at tip-top shape. And for me, I didn't have a chef. I wasn't that wealthy to be able to afford any of those luxuries. So I was everything in one. I was my physical therapist. I was my trainer. I was my chef. I was everything I needed to be to make sure that I was good enough to play. So when they took that away from me, it was the most long, tiring summer of my life. So as soon as I got cut, I was sitting in Buddy's living room watching that show. It honestly felt like time stood still. Like you could literally drop a pin and hear it. It was insane. I kind of just got a little woozy, it felt like so unreal. I was in certain disbelief. Like nobody expected this. I didn't expect this. My coaches that I knew while I was training with didn't expect it. So I didn't know who to tell. I I don't know if I should tell my parents. I don't know if I should tell my siblings, because at that moment I felt like a failure. I felt like, wow, everything I've been training for, everything I've been kind of practicing for has came to a standstill, and I didn't really know what to do. If you're an athlete, you understand this feeling. You understand that feeling of being rejected, told you're not good enough, feeling like less than inadequate. It's a very hard feeling, and getting out of that was one of the most daunting, and that day is still drilled into my memory of how miserable I felt that day. Losing my jersey didn't just feel like death, it felt like losing my identity. And for me, like, all I've ever wanted to do is play football. I had my life goal mapped out. I was gonna play professional football for 10 plus years, make a couple Pro Bowls, retire, work for ESPN, start a nonprofit, work with athletes. Like, it just sounded so good and everything sounded so right until it wasn't, right? And for a lot of athletes, my story is not unique. We've all experienced this one way or another. Whether you were a 10-time Pro Bowler and you got cut unexpectedly, or somebody you didn't even get a chance to make it to the mini camp, and you as a rookie, and you didn't even get that opportunity. It's very much a daunting feeling, because at that point you ask yourself, like, what's next? Like, what now? Like, it's a very, very tough place to be. And I don't even like to just keep this strictly for athletes, because I feel like this is a life issue. People will get let go from jobs they worked 30 years. You leave the military after serving for an extended period of time. You graduate from school. You graduate from getting your schooling degrees. You've had multiple degrees. So all you've known is school. All you've known is deadlines. All you've known is studying for one end goal. And what happened was that end goal comes quicker than you imagined. That is what it feels like about losing purpose. So I say this story because as playing as somebody who's always had a team to root for, had something to study for, has a game plan to study, and for that to be taken away from you, and now you're having to pivot and change your whole life, it's a lot. You're tired, you're frustrated, you're confused, honestly, and you feel all alone. So I say that as somebody is wanting this video to be hopefully helpful to maybe an athlete, somebody who's pivoting their career, somebody that's trying to figure out what their purpose here on this earth is. The biggest thing I want you to take from this is just to keep going. Be curious. Be very, very curious. Be very curious. You're so unique. And it's kind of a cliche thing, says, be yourself because everybody else is taken. We don't realize how powerful and how unique we are sometimes, because we live in a place, in a world where everybody's trying to compare themselves, looking like others, to where when just as transition and change happens, you got to be able to adapt with it. After my pity party when I got cut that day, for the next 48 hours, I can say it didn't feel real, right? I went, drank, I just was eating everything in sight, depressed, playing video games. But something clicked one day. I realized that I can either cry for myself and complain and woe is me, or I can move. I can figure it out. I can keep going. So first thing first, I was living at a buddy's house, so I didn't have a lot of time. I had to make a decision quick. But that decision that I made after the first 48 hours really changed the trajectory of my life. First, I ended up having to figure out, go back to school, finish your degree. So that's what I did. I went back to school. I was studying. I had like one more class left. So the good thing about it is I was able to re-enroll for summer camps. I was able to re-enroll for summer classes for the last class that I needed. So that's the good thing about it. So I ended up going and finishing out my degree, which is amazing because that's always an accomplishment to be able to finish out a journey of schooling and getting that degree. Second was figuring out where I was going to live. I've for so long has always kind of like been a nomad, because I was always living from place to place, kind of depending on the team that I was playing on. So honestly, finding a stable situation in a city that was pretty familiar to me, which was also a blessing, helped a lot. And obviously finding a job. This was the hardest part. I had no skills. All I've known for so long was run, tackle, hit, catch, pass, everything. So I had to create a resume for the first time that, honestly, underwhelming is a better term to say what my resume looked like. It was pretty bad. So after that, after reaching out to a bunch of connections that I made while playing and securing a job, also while securing shelter, that was the biggest thing that really was the turning point for me, and kind of like not having it all the way, but getting on the right track, because you don't have to figure it out. That's something that I really want to get people to understand. You don't have to figure it out at one moment. Life is not linear, and I've learned that. I've learned that you can make as many plans as you want, but one thing about life is going to throw you curveballs. Murphy's Law, anything can go wrong, will go wrong sometimes, and you're going to have to adjust. In that moment, I was just putting one foot in front of the other, trying to understand where I am right now and what is priority to me right now. Once I figured that out, it gave me opportunity as I was going to take each step and figure things out. And the beautiful thing I've learned about life is the more steps you keep taking towards your goal, the better opportunities come. Each day that you take, you show up, getting out of bed, working on yourself, working on your resume, applying opportunities, there will be places. Because the jobs and the connections that I got early on in my career really were predicated based on just reaching out to people that honestly, I didn't feel like they wanted to talk to me since the glamour of football was gone. But to my surprise, they were more than open arms and welcoming in and giving me opportunities and connecting me with people that I believe were really going to make a big difference for me. So fast forward a couple of years later in 2023, I really was having an epiphany. And because you always hear these stories of athletes that go broke, or and especially African Americans, that after they're done playing, they don't know what they're doing. And it's unfortunate we see a lot of people that pass away, unfortunately, due to the mental health deterioration or lack of purpose or lack of substance abuse and things that take them away from experiencing life past the game. Why? And it's not because they're bad people or they don't know, but a lot of kids, a lot of men and women in this situation just don't have a playbook. They don't understand what to do next. They don't understand that eventually their sport is going to end. And where does that transition move to? What am I going to feel? What am I going to anticipate? Am I alone? Because a lot of times we all feel like we're alone. We're these high achievers, these high IQ athletes that for all we've ever known, everything was structure. And to the outside world, it felt like we were indestructible. We were gladiators. But inside, we understood that we were just as good as our schedule. Now that your schedule is broken, who are you? So I'm giving people a book. I wrote this book, Fourth Down in Your Future to Go, to kind of just encourage people on their journey to finding themselves, finding peace, understanding that you're not alone, and kind of giving them tips and tricks to kind of just help in the transition. This isn't a self-help book by no means. This is not something that's going to give you in 30 days, nirvana and achieve, but it's just going to be a guide. It's going to be a good resource for you as you're on this journey, knowing that in times of uncertainty that you'll be okay. Knowing that in times of depression, anxiety, just so many mental things that you're battling each day, just trying to make sense of it all, that you'll be okay. I feel for people who struggle. I was one of those people, and I still, to this day, catch myself in moods that I have to find myself getting out of. But I really give God the glory for just helping me understand that my life wasn't just hitting, running, tackling, and just being an athlete. Being an athlete helped inspire me to become who I am, but it wasn't who I am. I was not a football player. I was just a guy that was good at football. Because at some point, football ends just like everything else. And you pivot and you transition. In this day and age where people are able to carve out their own niche, and especially in the media space, I think it's such a beautiful thing to see athletes kind of taking a stand in that as well. So follow me on this journey. Posting content every week, just helping athletes and people who are in transition kind of make sense of this crazy world, knowing that each day they wake up with breath in their lungs, there's purpose in their heart. So thank you, and let's keep going forward together.